Hi, I'm Linda Maxey, and today I'm going to talk about my picks for my first ever Nonfiction November. I've got stacks and stacks of nonfiction books waiting to be read in a spare bedroom. As the author of Library Lynn's curated collection of superlative nonfiction and Library Lynn's biographies, autobiographies, and memoirs, I've read a lot and I've researched a lot of nonfiction books. My biggest hobby is collecting books and reading them when the mood hits. Sometime around the time I decided to start my own YouTube channel, I discovered a book olive and Nonfiction November. What fun, I thought to myself. When she came out for her challenge this year, I couldn't wait to see what it was so I could discover if I already had unread books lying around that would fit the challenge. The challenge this year is 4 words. You're free to pick any book that makes sense to you that fits in with one of those words in any way. You can use 1 word all the way up to 4 words. You can combine words. You can just get really creative with this, or you can ignore it altogether and just choose your own nonfiction books. It's creative, interactive, and wide open. What could be better? The words you could choose from this year were fraud, web, capital, and display. I wrote down the words and went to my unread books piles to see what I could find. And I'm happy to say that I found a book for all 4 words, and I had a great time doing it. My plan was to read 1 book a week to get them all read in November. We'll see how that works out. But I also plan to write a first draft for a novel this month. I just love being busy, don't you? So here are the books I chose in the order that Olive presented the words and the order in which I plan to read them. For the first book, Fraud, I chose The Liars Club by Mary Karr. As hard as it may be to believe, I've never read a book by Mary Karr, but fraud and liar are related as both have to do with deception of some sort. This is Mary Karr's first memoir, and I think it's her debut work. I'll do a video to let you know what I think of this and the other books I read for the month. It'll probably be December before I post it. Mary Karr grew up on the Gulf Coast, and her father was in a group who met to tell each other what we in the South used to call whoppers. She also finds that there are deep lies in her own family as well. I'm really looking forward to this one. The second word was web, and the book I chose for that was Agent Sonia, The Spy Next Door by Ben McIntyre. As hard as it is for me to believe, I have yet to read a book by Ben McIntyre. I chose this one because spies are usually part of a web, and this one seems to be no exception. During World War II, a woman named Ursula Burton lived in a small village in the English Cotswolds with her husband and 3 children. What the neighbors didn't know was that she was actually a Soviet spy with the code name Sonia, who was seeking to gain information so the Soviets would be able to build an atomic bomb of their own. So yeah. Who wouldn't want to read that? The next word was capital, not with an O, but with an A. For that one I chose The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, Creating Currents of Electricity and Hope by William Kamkwamba and Brian Mealer. For this book, I'm using the word capital in the sense of excellent, which I guess is using it as a slang term, but that's okay. And I'm using it in the sense as, oh, that's capital, that is. William Kamkwamba grew up in Malawi, where science was a mystery. It was a poor and drought-ridden country where the vast majority of people had neither electricity nor running water. William had read about windmills, and despite being thought crazy by the people in his village, he used old science textbooks and scrap metal and other bits and pieces of things lying around like bicycle parts to build a windmill that changed the lives of his family and his village. I first heard about this story 10 years ago when I saw him doing a TED Talk, and I can't believe I'm just now getting around to reading this book. And the final word is display. And for that, I'm reading 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television by Jerry Mander. Televisions all have displays built in, so that's my connection to the last word. Former advertising executive Jerry Mander held bachelor's and master's degrees in economics. This book was first published in 1977. And it may seem quaint now with our ubiquitous computer screens in our homes, cars, and pockets, but TV was very controversial for a long time. I first saw this book recommended on a book club I'm in on Facebook, and I thought the title was intriguing. The person who posted about the book said it was amazing how relevant the material in the book still is for all of us. So I'm going to give it a try and see what I think. And Hannah from Hannah's Books told me that she had enjoyed it, and that's got me even more excited to read it. And just like with the other 3 books, I'll let you know what I think about it in December. I'd like to thank Olive for giving me a reason to read these books right now. What about you? Are you participating in Nonfiction November? What books are you reading? Are you using Olive's words as suggested, or are you doing something else? Leave a comment below and let me know. And until next time, happy reading.